All right, guys, welcome to the first of its kind. There's a few defunct ones out here, but we're bringing the Shields Up community a much needed Defenders podcast. Um, Name in progress, but we're going to go with Fly Shields Fly.
Fly Shields Fly.
I think it lends a nod to where we met, how we know each other, and just where this podcast can go.
Soaring like the birds. All right, love that.
So, my name's Robbie Marsden. Kids call me Coach Mars. This is
Coach Jordan Holbert. Go Vox, go Cougars.
And why does this podcast exist? One, I love the DC Defenders. My friends think I'm a little off for it, but love minor league football. And we're two guys that met through the game, been coaching together in North Philadelphia at Vox for 6 years. And we've gone, I went on to my alma mater. So, one, we love football. Defenders need a podcast, and it's an excuse for us to talk every now and then. And we're two charismatic, fun-loving individuals, and he, as usual, empowered me to do something that I probably wouldn't have done on my own.
Got one thing I got to ask you on all that. You love DC Defenders football. You love it. Like, you love it.
Well, it's my fourth favorite team.
Fourth favorite team?
Yeah.
That's blasphemy for someone in Philadelphia.
Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Defenders.
5. Who's getting disrespected?
The Flyers, the Union.
Wow. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. I love that you love this. I admittedly like it. I love football. As you know, played high school. We've coached together for a bunch of years. I love the game of football. But to say that I love the UFL and the DC Defenders is a stretch right now. But I think this is going to make us cross that finish line.
And that's the idea.
That's what I'm hoping.
I'll carry that heart for us in the meantime.
I just want that. I wanted to get that out there. So when I don't know what the hell you're talking about, you understand why.
No. Yeah. I mean, I understand why.
And I want you to also understand, anyone who might be listening might also be a little confused about what the DC Defenders are. So before you get super nerdy, before you get really in the bag, let's remember, this is not just us. We got to make sure
I think I've made a accessible rundown.
Shit, let's get into it.
All right, so I want to talk about the higher framework of why I love the UFL so much and why I think you should too.
It's a good start.
I make everything an acronym, so we're going to call it PPA, but we're going to go reverse order. A, access. It gives you incredible access to the game while you're watching it. You can hear the referees, you can see decisions made, you can watch the head official make a judgment call in real time and communicate with the broadcasters as they're doing it. A player makes a play, they come off the field, they interview them right away. It's just incredible access to the game that makes it unique. That made the XFL, when it was a gimmick made by Vince McMahon in the early 2000s, appealing. The first P is for practical. Here's what I think our viewers don't know about the UFL. They do not have private owners. These teams do not. So all 8 teams are owned by the same ownership group, in part by The Rock and his ex-girlfriend.
There's a story there. Go
ahead. There is. But anyway, they all are based out of Arlington, Texas. They share the same practice facilities. They share the same training staffs. They live together. And here's kind of the awkward part is they travel together. So the Battlehawks and the Defenders were on the same airplane going to play each other in St. Louis. So that's just an interesting dynamic there. But I think that's practical. As you build up loyalty, you still play in those cities. So you're building loyalty within the fan base, all while being sensible and smart with your resources.
That's an incredibly smart way to build a business.
So
shout out The Rock, who, again, like, we're going to talk business people.
Yeah.
That guy's done it. He's doing it. This is a fantastic idea. I love the idea that you actually know your opponent.
Yeah.
Right? Like, think about, they're probably practicing together for numbers. They're training together. They know who's working hard. Like,
they share the weight rooms.
All these guys aren't dogs in a weight room. Some of these guys are just guys that, like, blessed with speed and size and have been playing the game a long time. Other guys are guys who were, like, that sicko mentality, that Mamba mentality, and, like, they're going for it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's fascinating to know who that is, because normally the NFL, you don't interact other
No.
than on Sunday
No.
or Monday, Thursday, whatever. But you probably came up with these guys playing on different circuits, playing in college, knowing
Yeah.
who each other are, maybe being teammates, maybe being opponents. You've got some guys who probably played high school either with each other or against each other, and they've known each other the whole time. That's really cool that they do all that. They eat, they train, they travel,
Think about
and then they
that.
compete.
Like, they're on their own island, whatever it is, Sunday through Wednesday. They typically fly out Thursday morning to get acclimated to the city and play Friday or Saturday. I mean, you're probably making friends and going out to dinner with some of these guys. You probably have a dinner table with like 4 or 5 different teams represented.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the human element to it.
Yeah.
So
that new human element is going to make this really fun because of I don't know, I think you said access, right? So
yeah.
the access piece is going to be crazy different with this. It's going to be like almost a reality TV to this.
Which is everyone's guilty pleasure. I don't care what anyone
It does,
says.
yeah.
Well, the reason I think this is sustainable is
Mhm.
why I think this practical piece, it's sustainable financially. And here's what I think the last P, parity. The UFL, when the XFL and USFL combined to become the UFL, they created a formal partnership with the NFL, which I would describe to new fans as to be the official minor league system. So after the UFL season ends, the rosters unlock. These players are able to be signed or try out for NFL teams, which helps the notoriety and helps the brand of the UFL. So think about it this way. The best teams in the UFL have the best players. They're going to have the most players plucked and called up to the NFL, which then that former powerhouse UFL team is now down at the bottom or in the middle, and they're having to start over again because of this parity. And also, like, I mean, we'll get into the defenders of it all, but their continuity has been good these last 4 seasons, specifically at quarterback with Jordan Ta'amu, and I'll argue at wide receiver and running back as well. Line has been a problem. You'll hear, as a line coach purist, you'll hear me say that, but I love my bigs. So, but yeah, so access, it's just practical and sustainable, and the parity of the league. When players succeed, they'll be called up to the NFL, and then the team that won the championship last year will be trying to build a new identity again after they lose their best talent. Theoretically.
Everyone's new to the podcast because it's the first episode, but I know, and some people who are listening might know, that you're a history teacher.
Yes.
That just showed. That was on display. The combination of history teacher and football enthusiast was just absolutely on a magnificent display. You gave us PPA. I don't know why you just didn't call it app.
Yeah, I probably should call it app. Yeah.
So let's just make
because we're in Philly, Philadelphia Parking Authority.
We don't know free ads.
Well, we don't like the PPA.
But we like this.
We do like this. All right, never mind. App.
Access,
practical parity, UFL. I don't know. Use me as an ambassador. Check us out.
Check him out. Mars Trained on Instagram.
Hashtag, no, it's not hashtag. At Mars Trained. Training critical thinkers and big men in the trenches.
Boom. So that was all on display. You gave us the acronym app. You let us know about the connection from the minor league system now that has never existed in the NFL. For real. But yeah, that's a lot of information and gave us a lot of context about the DC Defenders, about the UFL, about how this whole thing works. We know that The Rock is involved. We know about the potential for inter squad beefs. We know the potential for any type of reality aspect that comes into this, and they already have the access built in. My question for you is more football related, right? Like, we got to talk about, you said 2025 UFL champions, DC Defenders.
Yeah, that's
right?
it.
Right? Fly Shields Fly. Let's go.
Shields up. That's what it is.
We win the championship 2025. Roster unlocks. Talent's gone. Talent's in the league. Right? So who's gone? Who's here? Who are some of the changeovers that have happened? Do you want to?
Yeah. So what I'll say is that
Are we screwed?
from a top down perspective, our offense is pretty much the same. We have the same skill players. We have Jordan Ta'amu back, which is huge. Having the same quarterback is huge.
UFL championship game MVP.
Yes.
Jordan Ta'amu.
But our coaching staff remains identical.
So
I do see holes in our defense. I don't really recognize too many names. I need to get more acquainted with them. We had a cornerback named Michael Joseph who was a turnover machine for us. We had a dog of a linebacker, disciplined athlete with grit, Reggie Northrup. He, in his spare time, fights mixed martial arts at 205 pounds.
In his spare time?
When he was playing. He fought like MMA in Florida or something. But wow, he was an awesome linebacker and had played for the previous 2 or 3 years. So like I don't recognize any of the names on defense right now, and that's what I worry about. Right. Now, they have Greg Williams. Let's call a spade a spade. This is a highly successful coach, Greg Williams, but he's known for Bountygate with the New Orleans Saints. Right. He was the original,
Sean Payton era.
He was the original DC Defenders D coordinator. His son, Blake Williams, is now the defensive coordinator. Oh. And he pitched a heck of a game. I mean, you can't really blame the defense. It was the offensive woes. So as much as I say that it's our defense I'm worried about, that was not what was shown to us in the game. Which is a good segue to our game breakdown.
Well, there's a lot of names that you're saying, like Greg Williams, NFL. There's a couple other names that are thrown out in the UFL that have either been coaches or head coaches even, or big level coordinators. Is the UFL the rules the exact same? NFL, UFL?
Yeah, so the UFL likes to brand themselves.
Someone asked me that. I was like, I threw away that we were starting this podcast, and they were like, "Are the rules the same?" I was like, I don't know. I gotta ask more.
So they all, it's still football, but I will say the UFL has smartly branded themselves as the breeding ground for rule changes and now they like have that to latch onto.
Great for the collab.
Because they're the first group to do the new kickoff rule, and the NFL has taken that kickoff rule. So now that's their receipt. Like, yo, we are the breeding ground. Look at what the NFL followed us. And now I think this year it's gotten gimmicky, which actually I had like the top 3 rule changes, and I wanted to see how you felt about them.
Cool. Let's go.
I'm going to go in reverse order. One, I just think like it went from being practical and experimental to being gimmicky. Like they made this big deal about banning the tush push. The tush push wasn't a factor in the UFL last year. Like, I think you're just doing that for clicks. You're doing it ahead of the league meeting. Go Birds. Don't push my buttons, UFL.
Fuck the Packers. Sorry. I'm sorry. But no, that's it.
Come on, you're a coach. I'm an educator. We're going to bleep that.
No, we're not. Yeah. No, we're not.
I'm not cussing here.
No, we're not. We're living.
My Defender's hat on. I'm not cursing.
Well, I am.
All right. Anyway, so I just wanted to get the no tush push out of the way. Like, you just did that for clicks, UFL. Still love you. One of your top fans, but that was annoying.
Completely unrelated to their game.
Yes, completely unrelated. 2, the no punting once you cross midfield. Once you get to the 50, you cannot punt.
You're on the 49.
Correct.
I love it.
I love it as a fan of a minor league football team. I would not love it as a coach of a high school football team, a player on a college football team, or a fan of an NFL football team. But I love it here. I love it here, UFL.
Well, it's different, right? Like, your punter in high school, probably going to punt it 25 yards if he's not a guy.
Yeah.
Right?
But still, though, it limits you.
It does.
And I have thoughts that how it leads to our switch rules.
I love it, though.
As a spectator.
No, I love it for everything for this specific league. I love it
league, yes.
For the strategy as a coach. Like, on third down, if it's 3rd and 19, am I just going to lose a yard to get back to the 50? So right now we got a new strategy thing we got to think about.
Yeah. Well, that was something I noticed in the game. It changes the mindset of play calling where people are. It's like they're on their own 48-yard line, and it's 3rd and 4 or something, and instead of running the ball, they're going for a 10, 15-yard pass because they don't want to get into a situation where they're in 4th and 2, and they have to punt.
So they probably have, instead of like we have the red zone we traditionally think about of the 20 in.
Yeah.
There's probably like something they're calling it like the hot zone of 45 or 50.
I don't think 45. They do, but you should. Yeah. The Patrick Cook. What did the ESPN program, the six pack of questions. That's kind of what it would be, like the hot seat or something. Anyway, I like that. But this actually plays a direct role into my first rule change that I think is really fun. 60-yard field goals are 4 points. And Matthew McCrane, our kicker, who is awesome, he made the first ever 4-pointer.
First ever. In the books.
What
a way to start the season.
McCrane. Yeah, he did miss the next one that was like 55 or 56.
That's a low kick.
He's
not missing shorties.
No. So I love that for this league. However, these two rules are connected because then you have situations where people are crossing the 50 and they're taking these 55, 56, 57, 58-yard field goals because they kind of have to, and it's not 4 points. So they're taking like the same length of a kick for 3 points when maybe a play or two before they should have just kicked a 60-yard.
It's interesting.
So it's like makes you have to think about that too. Do I take this 61-yard field goal? Because if I get to a 57 or 56, it's a point less.
Yep.
And I also thought it was hilarious that at the end of the first quarter, the score was 4-3.
Yeah.
Which has to be some sort of scoregami situation.
For sure. For now.
Yeah, well, for now.
It'll be
more common.
Very common in the UFL.
But those are my three. There's more, but I think those are the big three that were meant to gain traction. And I think makes the game exciting for the viewer. As a coach, I don't necessarily like it, but as a spectator and a fan.
It brings like a basketball, why would you take a long mid-range jumper idea to football?
Yeah.
Right? Like, why would you take a shot with your heels on the three-point line?
Yeah.
So I think it's great.
I swear there was 3 or 4 55, between 55 and 59-yard
attempts. Because what are you going to do?
And the broadcasters are like, well, this is kind of like a long.
There's not really plays for 4th and 5 that you feel fantastic about.
No.
Even less for 4th and 7 and longer.
All right, let's get where we at here. I think we're going to get to we're making good time. Let's get to our game breakdown. Coach Jay, I'm going to give you a recap of the first quarter and then go into my take on quarters 2 through 4, and then I want you to weigh in on what you think would do here. Quarter 1, Jordan Teamu just had early rhythm and success. You could see the continuity between him and offensive coordinator Fred Keiss. And they were marching down the field. They establish a lead. And then it all falls apart. Before I get into quarters 2 through 4, I do want to mention what I think the strength of the defenders is. They have, coming back, they have Cornell Powell and Braylon Sanders. Braylon Sanders, you might know, he played with Teamu at Ole Miss, played along with A.J. Brown. But he was AWOL for most of the game. Cornell Powell, I found out, was out. Ruled out, but Ty Scott and Seth Williams, another 2 great receivers, they showed out for Teamu. And then another dynamic of the backfield, Deion Jackson has proven that he is this team's number 1 running back, which is interesting because previously Abram Smith 2 or 3 seasons ago was the UFL's, or I guess it was the XFL's then, leading rusher, but then he tore his ACL, and he's been on the defender since, but just hasn't been able to rebottle the magic, and Deion Jackson has ascended. But quarters 2 through 4, really the story of the game was the St. Louis Battlehawks pass rush. Teamu just didn't have any time. It disrupted protection and timing. I want to shout out PETA, and I practiced this last night. PETA Tomupenu.
Ooh!
PETA Tomupenu. Number 7 pass rusher for the Battlehawks 2 years ago was the UFL or XFL, I think it was before the merger, Defensive Player of the Year. And here's what I want to give a shout out to St. Louis defensive coordinator Corey Shamblin, really winning this chess match with Fred Keiss, really dictating and manipulating where Tomupenu was lining up, which is something I could have seen you do as a defensive mind. I knew it was getting serious when they started lining their star pass rusher up on the outside shoulder of the guard. When they start lining him up at the 3 technique, they just had no answer for it. And here's the thing, even when they did have an answer for it, they might say, oh, how can you not block? As an offensive coordinator, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have, instead of the guard or the center be open for a blitz, I'm gonna have them double team Tomupenu. I'm gonna have maybe an extra tight end to bump before they release. I might have my running back stay in as an extra line of defense. All of those things open up another lane for another pass rusher or another blitz, and that's really what we saw. So even when Tomupenu wasn't making plays, other people were making plays because of him, and it was quarters 2 through 4. It was just that over and over and over again. I do wish I would have seen, and Teamu appears kind of mobile, but I mean, I would have rolled out. I would have rolled out, and
hold on. Let me get some.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm getting excited.
You are
temperament.
So one, Peter Taumapenu is a dog. Yep. He gets to be used. He gives us access on the defensive side of the ball to do what the Packers, what the Cowboys have been able to do, what Penn State was able to do, what he's able to do in high school with 11 Micah Parsons. Right? He moves around. He can play 3. If you want him to, he'll line up right in front of the center and go out on the edge, and he can attack from anywhere. Right? The defense was not the reason we lost this game. The defense was great. The defense had a drive in the third quarter. It was the Blackhawks scoring drive. Battlehawks.
Clocks,
see, I don't respect them enough to know their name yet. I'll learn their name eventually, because you know what? They're getting because I checked the power rankings. The power rankings have Seattle. Who are they? I don't even know where they're from.
St. Louis.
I refuse to understand.
They're the highest attended fan base, above the Defenders. Defenders number 2.
Yeah, because the Rams left. It's not a football city. Sorry, St. Louis. Talk my shit. That's what I will do. Sorry, talk my stuff. Okay? So, Battlehawks are all high in the power rankings now. Everyone thinks they're this team because they beat the defending champs. We're ranked number 5. There's only 8 teams, right?
Yes.
This
was a rematch from the conference championship.
I feel disrespected. Okay? They scored on one drive in the third quarter that gave them the lead, right? Gave them the lead. Our offense, acceptedly, we did not play well. We accept that. Offense did not play well. The defense played borderline elite, except for one drive where they had a swing pass to a running back, 60 yards down the field. Right? That's not a play that happens, right, every game, right? And then they had another play where that same running back made it was another play in the flat that was the same responsibility of the middle linebacker. Okay. I'm not putting him out there. I'm not putting him out there.
Not returning linebackers. Not Reggie Northrup.
But you know who is? You know who's on the way? Do you know who's on the way? Boogie is on the way. You know about Boogie?
No.
So Boogie is our newest linebacker. He was just with the Panthers, right? NFL caliber type talent. Cut by the Panthers. Signed with the DC Defenders on March 25th. Not in time to play in this game. Not in time to play first. Boom, yo! I'm telling you, that drive.
It's not gonna happen again.
That drive doesn't happen next week, and this defense.
Friday Night Lights were getting Boogie.
Is fine in the back, right? We talked a lot about the offense. The defense is fine in the back. The back 4 or 5, our nickel can tackle, right? Our corners can cover. Our safeties communicate. But that front 6 or 7, depending on what package we're in,
hit you with the 6-7. Sorry,
it's going to be deadly. Right, we have the upfront pressure. Boogie can play at the off-ball linebacker spot. He can play at the edge. Penu can play in the interior of the defensive line, the 3 tech, or imagine those two coming at you. You got Boogie and you got Peter.
Well, you know Peter's on the Battlehawks, right?
Oh shit! No, I didn't.
That was the biggest threat. I'm saying, yeah.
So he's not on our team.
He's not on our team. That was the problem.
If they were,
that was the problem. Imagine if they were.
It's
Gains. It's Gains for him. Peter Taumapenu, shout out to you. You're a Battlehawk.
Why are you shouting out Battlehawks on the DC Defenders podcast?
Because he won the game for them. He caused us fits, messed up our whole offense, and here's my qualm.
When Boog gets here, that's all done. That's all done.
Yes. Well, you heard it here first, Boog coming. But that is kind of my last qualm I want to get into with the Defenders here. Continuity is a good thing in the UFL. I told you parity beats up these teams. Shuffles rosters. Hasn't been that dynamic of a shift with the Defenders, but I'm tired of watching the Fred Keiss offense. I'm tired of watching the Fred Keiss offense. I just think it's just plain meat and potatoes, and he's not adjusting. Sometimes you got to go away from the greatest hits.
No, stop. Listen. Wholly disagree with the scheme being the issue. The issue is the players not picking up the scheme. Okay, the scheme.
Like coach. That's what we are.
It's what I am. It's what I am to my core. I saw it. Teamu is top tier. Last year was not a fluke.
Even you need to be able to accommodate for that.
The rest of his teammates, specifically the skill players, were not doing their part in the offense, the small things in the offense. There's a point at 12-18. 12-18, he said that was the first quarter that you talked about.
Yeah.
Number 19, which one of the guys is that? Who's 19?
I would have to look. I don't know if it's Ty Scott. I don't know.
Whoever he
I don't
is.
have the register in front of me.
Great. They had a deep ball. Just as simple. It was a 4 vertical route. They called for four verticals a couple times. It's a big part of their offense. If you get to the defensive back's toes, you keep running by him. You go straight by him. If he's got enough cushion where you can't do that, you give him this, you get to a point, you break back to the sideline. He stepped right on homie's toes, went right by him. Guy was in a good position, but he was able to catch a contested ball. I was like, 12 minutes left in the first quarter. We're doing this all game. Eventually, they take away the deep route and they are able to blitz.
Yeah.
And the running backs don't know how to be a part of the pass game. That's hard for running backs, but they have to be able to do it, right? Because once you have that 4 vertical route and there's no check down and there's pressure, you got to have an outlet. He got sacked the next drive in the second quarter because the running back took his time getting through the line of scrimmage and snapping his head around. You can see that Jordan's staring right at him, but he can't throw the ball because he's looking at the back of his head. Same thing happened. This is unacceptable. You got your nickel over top of your third receiver, and you see that he's blitzing. You can tell that there's a blitz because there's a receiver.
Yeah, he's got free run now.
There's a receiver. There's a man over top of that receiver, and there's a safety over directly behind that man. That's a telltale sign. You guys, pay attention. That's a telltale sign of blitz. Why would you stack 2 players over the same player if one's not blitzing, right? The receiver has to know, hot, 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 alert, 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 snap my head around so my guy can get me the ball. I'm going to be wide open. Doesn't happen. That's the third quarter. That's the fourth quarter. That's over and over and over again. You're getting at the line. They can't block 7 people. If you try to cover us with 7 people, we got to be able to score and make the plays. Teamu's looking. His head is in the right spot. He's seeing the right things. That's an issue. If you're going to get at coach, if you're going to get at the offensive coordinator about something, it's making sure his players, his skill players, know how to help the pass rush, against the pass rush.
I just think you had a sign early on of how you needed to make an adjustment, and there weren't adjustments made. But you could blame both sides for that. Either way, you need to find ways for Teamu to get the ball out quick. You need him to leave the pocket on purpose.
It's a long season. I'm not leaving no pocket. I'm not leaving no pocket.
So while I support the lemon branding now, the lemon lore, there's lemon merch. I took a picture of this woman my mother's age wearing a whole lemon jumpsuit. It was awesome. I love the lemon lore. Fans, let's not throw stuff on the field again, because I saw the impact it had on the people. Now I'm getting too soft. But anyway, that's the lore of the lemon.
I think you're close to something here, right? We should have a lemon of the game and maybe a lemonade of the game, right? That's the lemonade right there. You took that lemon and you gave us something good. We have something there's lore there.
Yeah,
there's something cool here. But we can't be just throwing lemons, because you're right. Someone does have to pick that up. You know the thing about
you got to think about who's picking it up.
The hat trick. I think that's a cool thing that they've been doing. Anytime there's a hat trick,
but those go to donations.
Those go to something. You're just making someone do a job that is not part.
But I'm not going to say that at one game I may or may not have thrown a lemon on the field. I'm not going to come out here and act like I am a saint. Okay, I may have let the heat of the moment get to me, and I may have thrown a lemon myself. But once I saw those poor, employees and interns frantically trying to clean up the mess that the fans caused, it made me sick. And then anyway, so I'm not holier than thou.
I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah,
I'm more than a little disappointed.
I feel it,
and I want you to feel that.
I feel it. I think I let the emotions get the best of me. But anyway, you're getting backing me into a corner. We're getting back to the lemon of the game. Something that left a sour taste in my mouth. And I need to be clear here. I was raging. Number 1, Bryce Thompson, our corner, had costly late game behavior. So this is a corner who got in a little bit of a dispute on the field with a Battlehawks player, required numerous teammates to separate him and talk him down. including Blake Williams, the defensive coordinator, coming out to talk to Bryce Thompson, and he was clearly remaining unregulated in the game. And, you know, we love preaching about emotional regulation. But here's what cost. He obviously didn't heed the words of his teammates. He didn't heed the words of his coach. And honestly, I put onus on Blake Williams. Like, you got to see that your guy's still in the red, and you got to pluck him out of the game. Because at that point, we still could have made a stop and still had a shot to score again. Immediately, next play, Bryce Thompson doesn't come out. He's still in the red. He's still unregulated. What does he do? He goes offside. Costs us a shot at the game.
What position
And even he was corner. He was coming hot.
No.
Well, I think he might be nickel corner, so that's probably
no, unacceptable.
But
unacceptable.
He immediately jumps off sides, costs us the game. They can now just run the clock out. And he's still chirping. He's still chirping. So, like, as a coach, you got to see that guy is not regulated, and you got to pull him out of the game for his own good, as someone who cares about the player first. Now, I think for Bryce Thompson, like, you need to take this as a learning experience. This is your job, and we'll talk about pay next week, regardless of how much they get paid. However, more than that, it is your audition to have a chance at fulfilling your dreams. And you're showing game one of the season that you can't handle your emotions as a grown man, a professional player. Now, again, we have our moments, and I also put onus on Coach Williams, but that left a sour taste in my mouth. Number one corner, Bryce Thompson, costly late game behavior, and just a bad example for the kids watching at home. And bad example for the coaches, for Blake Williams. You got to see your guys upset. You got to pull him and make do. So
crazy behavior. Crazy to jump off sides as a corner. Crazy to get that emotionally outside yourself, right? Like, you're a professional.
Yeah.
I want to see what Bryce. Here's a lemonade. Bryce Thompson, what are you going to do next?
Ooh.
What are you going to do next? Because you messed up.
I think he should be benched, but that's just me.
What are you going to do next? If that's what coach decides, if that's what the staff decides, and he has to deal with that. If he wants a spot back, you got to fight back for it.
Yeah. Right? Lemonade.
If you get another opportunity to play this week, let's get it going. We got the Aviators coming to town.
Speaking of next week,
we're going to town with the Aviators, right? That's what we do. We go from Texas to wherever we're going
to our base in Arlington together.
Run me through what's going to happen from this week till when we play Friday night.
Yeah. So this is a good segue. Let's see how we're doing on time. Oh, that was good. That was like 6 minutes, that last session. So this is a great segue to our scouting report. We're looking ahead at the Columbus Aviators. So for a Friday game, they'll probably fly out tomorrow morning, is probably what I would predict, to Columbus. They're playing
Wednesday
in
morning
Columbus.
they travel.
Yeah.
2 days before. Well, who knows when they're going to listen?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Some respect for the listeners.
So they'll fly out Wednesday. Their games, we got some Friday night lights, April 3rd, 8 p.m. And here's what I want to say. I have a couple keys to the game, threats that we need to be aware of, especially based on our last game. But I saved this as a surprise for you, Coach Jay. The head coach of the Columbus Aviators, Ohio State legend, NFL great player, Ted Ginn Jr.
All-time awesome college player.
Ted Ginn Jr., the head coach of the Columbus Aviators.
That's a fun coach.
And this is a new team this year, by the way, the Columbus Aviators. And I also want to shout out
a Columbus legend.
Yeah,
that's a good hire.
That's a good hire.
That's a great hire.
And what I will say too is I don't know if you recognize this game, viewers at home. You might. Todd Haley.
Yep.
He is a kind of a career offensive coordinator with the Cardinals OC during that Carson Palmer Super Bowl, who beat the Eagles, I'm pretty sure, in the last McNabb run.
Yeah.
He then got hired as the Chiefs head coach. Not too much luck there before. I believe that he was probably the coach before Reed, and then became the Steelers offensive coordinator.
But he really rode that time with the Cardinals when he was blessed with Carson Palmer.
Yes.
For the rest of that career.
So Todd Haley is the play caller
for
the Columbus Aviators. Keys to the game here. Their quarterback. We need to get after Jalen McClendon. Jalen McClendon has an interesting lore. He was our third string or backup. I think he might have been our third string quarterback in 2024 for the Defenders. He never truly had incredible collegiate success. I mean, listen, going D1, props. He's still pursuing his passion, but never was a full-time starter at NC State, transferred to Baylor, same thing. But he's been in the XFL, well, now the UFL, from the jump, from the season that had some buzz and floundered during COVID because of the pandemic. He backed up. Here's my connection to the Eagles. Go Birds. He backed up Josh Johnson in 2020 in the XFL. Josh Johnson, who we historically beat in the NFC Championship after Brock Purdy got injured. So yeah, we need to get after Jalen McClendon. He's their starter. We should not treat him as such. Blake Williams, get after him. And then here are our two threats. They have a receiving threat that had a really great game last week. Tay Martin, big frame, 6'3". He has NFL experience with the Titans and the Commanders, and just had big time production at Oklahoma State. So that's someone that your secondary is going to have to lock down. Maybe if Bryce Thompson comes out, we're going to have to make sure that he is locked in on him. And then because we had such a problem with Battlehawk, Pita Tomupenu.
True.
We have a pass rush threat in Ron Stone Jr., R.J. Stone. He is a Washington State alum. He had a brief stint with the Raiders, but he is a pass rush machine.
Explosive pass rusher.
Yes.
Closes the gap and has a beautiful way of hand fighting. Ron Stone's a problem.
So we need to accommodate for Ron Stone. But that's my keys to the game. Jalen McClendon, get after him. Really props to him on making a career out of the game. You can clearly say that this man is resilient for sticking with and trudging along and forging out a path for himself in professional football, but someone that Blake Williams and the Defenders defense needs to get after. And our threats, Tate Martin, receiver, and pass rusher, R.J. Stone, Ron Stone Jr. Friday Night Lights, baby. That's what I got. Comments on that?
I'm tapped in. I can't wait. Nothing better than a Friday Night Lights, and we don't
really
get
don't
Friday
get that.
Night Lights
Except for Brazil. What we got in Brazil with the Eagles?
Oh, I'm even thinking this time of year.
Yeah.
This time of year for Friday Night Lights. That's my favorite thing. I think that they're so smart for so many different reasons because of the timing of this league, the locations that they selected as the home bases while having the actual home base in a specific location. I think it's genius. I think that I got a hunger for more football. I certainly have a something I'm trying to fill some time with, right? I spent 1,700 hours on football this year. I calculated it.
I was going to say, how do you know?
It's 2 months. It's 2 full
His brain
months.
works like that, so it doesn't surprise me that you tabulate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's averages and some fun math, but that's a lot. And now it's just gone. So I need it back. And the DC Defenders and the UFL and the Rock and the leadership team bringing this back to us.
And I got to shout out Danny Garcia. I just said like, oh, the Rock's like girlfriend. She's an incredible entrepreneur and business leader in her own right. So I got to shout out Danny Garcia.
Like we didn't even make it out of Women's Empowerment Month before
I was just a
little woman.
Yeah.
So shout out Women's Empowerment Month.
All right, you ready for our last segment? I'm excited about this one. So for the brand, we have the lemon of the game. We also have the final whistle. Okay, so I borrowed this from shout out Go Birds Pod, Elliot Shore Parks, James Seltzer. They finish every pod with a final thought, and it's just something random that they thought of in their life, and they just want a loved one to share it with and see if they're crazy or not. So I have one, and then if you have one, that'd be great.
Or you can fire it up. No, you're go.
So something that has really been occupying my time lately in my head is just like dinosaurs. So there's been a new Netflix documentary dropping, and I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, like I don't think dinosaurs looked like we think they looked. And I've been thinking about how do we know what color they were? And I modern research allegedly showing that they look more like birds than actual, reptiles. I just think that dinosaurs are still fascinating. And I don't think they look like we think they look. And I think more people need to talk about it.
That's phenomenal. That's amazing. And I think you're right. Like dinosaurs probably didn't look like they did in the cartoons we saw drawn in the books.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's animals today. There's animals today that look just like dinosaurs. Like there's a dinosaur, the Stegosaurus. No. The Triceratops? No.
Which one?
Which is the one that looks just like a rhinoceros. It's got the thing and it's got the one in the back.
Triceratops.
Yeah, come on. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
The animals don't look that different.
Now, I understand fossils and I understand the bones. I'm thinking more along the lines of like, meat and potatoes on that skeleton. Like, what are they looking like?
Yeah,
I just, is a T-Rex big and green or big and, brownish red. Probably, maybe not. Probably.
Well, you know how they say like a pig where it has like 90% of the same DNA, a primate has 99% of the same DNA. Me and you
a pig
have
has
99.6% of the same DNA.
Well, a pig has what? Shares with what?
With a human. Most of the DNA is the same. There's different orders and things, but most of it's the same. It's
I think
living,
we have to table the pig discussion.
living, breathing, mammals, right? All of those.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not that different. I don't think the animals were that different. That's what they were. They were just animals at that time. So I think there's some science to be explored there. Thank you for bringing that to our critical attention.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be on my priority list, but I like thinking about it from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a final thought?
Yeah.
Let it rip.
My final thought for today is that the mascot for your team really matters. Like, I really think that's important.
Yeah, did you know we're naming it? I'll lead into it.
I don't know what I'm leading it into. I just think that's my thought. I think that there's Battlehawks or the Battlehawks. I don't respect that. I like the Aviators. Like, that makes sense. The Columbus Aviators is a good team name. I respect that. I don't respect the Battlehawks. Tell me the story behind the Battlehawks.
Oh, I don't know. I don't mind it though.
I don't like it. I think they're my least favorite team.
Well, I think their slogans like they call, like that's their go birds, that's their shields up. They call or they caw. And I don't know how I feel about it.
Get out, be original, do your own
There
thing.
is a vote right now, I will plug it. There's a vote right now to name our mascot, which is just kind of like a guy that is dressed like some sort of Spartan defender superhero, like the Boys parody sort of situation. I feel like I voted Sergeant Strike. Yeah, Sergeant Strike, because one, like some sort of military defender, but like it's an ode, it's a nod to the original, shout out original XFL, original logo, the lightning strike.
I'm into it.
Like in the original logo. So I think I voted for Sergeant Strike. I encourage my friends to do so. I'm going to encourage you guys to vote for Sergeant Strike as well.
That's it. That's the final whistle. Toot toot.
That's the final whistle.
All right. So we're back next week. Like, follow, subscribe, check in, follow, tell your friends.
There also was a Shields Up pod that is now defunct, and we're the Fly Shields Fly podcast. Okay. Yeah, because we're Shields Up, but also we're Eagles fans. Also, we're based out of Philadelphia. We met coaching high school ball in Philadelphia. Wait for more.
Go Cougars.
Go Birds,
Defenders.
go Cougars, and go Lions. Team I coach.
Go Defenders.
And ultimately, go Defenders. Signing out.
Peace. Did we nail it? I think we nailed it.